Good morning. You know, I find it ironic that what's at heart here are these cell phone messages, the text messages, the data that was collected. And what's ironic is there's currently a criminal investigation against Commissioner Bergosh, who's a suspect of violating sunshine law involving communications contained in that cell phone
This is
data.
outside the report of investigation.
But today, we are here to discuss probable cause against my client for this alleged offense. Probable cause is more than just a mere hunch, suspicion, I think, maybe, I don't know, but potentially. Probable cause requires evidence. Now here, what are the elements that must be proved? One, Mr. Owens was a county employee. Number two, Mr. Owens obtained the cell phone data in the course of his official duties through his official position. Four, that the information was privileged or not available to the public. And finally, that it conferred a benefit on someone. It's not in dispute that he was a county employee when he came into possession of the cell phone data. But what is in contention, I find it very interesting, is in this report, not one single analysis was done on how he obtained the data through his official position as a commissioner's aide. He didn't work in the IT department. He wasn't entrusted with it. He was not a custodian of the documents, anything like that. He simply came to work. I don't know how they can overcome that hurdle, but certainly they're drawing a lot of conclusions here. His job duties didn't have anything to do with Commissioner Bergosh's cell data. His access that he had at the county didn't even give him access to the county server, so he couldn't have even logged onto a computer to go and get this information. This statute right here involves primarily procurement. Hey, you're working at the county, there's a request for proposal goes out for, we're gonna have a paving job, and you get these sealed bids in, you call your brother-in-law up and go, hey, guess what? Here's where your bid needs to be, and you can get this job. That's what this statute's for. Here, there's nothing to support that Mr. Owens used his official position to acquire the data. As a matter of fact, I would direct you to page 4 down at the bottom and read what it says. The county's Office of Compliance and Ethics investigation was unable to provide any conclusive findings as to how respondent obtained the cell phone data. She says it right there in her own report. Well, now it's a problem. There's not one shred of evidence to support that element. Therefore, the entire case fails. But looking at the other parts of the elements, regarding information not available to the public, here you have a trove of data. And within that data, the information that was used by Dr. Edler's attorneys in her lawsuit are all of public importance. As a matter of fact, these documents were inspected in camera by a federal judge. The federal judge determined which pieces of evidence were going to come into that case.
Objection, excuse me for interrupting. This is all outside the report of investigation.
In the
It's not admissible.
that judge made a determination that certain parts of that cell phone data could come in to evidence. And I would also tell you that the cell phone data is also subject to public records and sunshine law. He's the one using his personal phone for county business, commingling and everything. And for that right there, it fails. Also, what conferred benefit? Any conferred benefit on Dr. Edler was from documents that are readily available or would have been readily available or covered under sunshine while Mr. Owens was an employee, but he didn't obtain them through his official position. Furthermore, the state would like you to believe that they have the opportunity and the ability to be clairvoyant and determine what the future is, that he may get a benefit. It's possible he could give it to somebody else. Well, that's not what the statute says. Statute doesn't say an intent. The statute says gained a benefit, gained, took possession of it, gained a benefit. Here, you can't sit here and say Mr. Owens gained a benefit for running in the future, or maybe somebody else running against Commissioner Bergosh. So I think this whole case fails right there on that. He didn't gain it from his position as a commissioner's aide. The documents that were used in Dr. Edler's case are certainly subject to the Sunshine Law. 3, you can't say he conferred a benefit upon himself or something in the future has never occurred. So I'm asking you today to use some common sense and find that probable cause does not exist in this matter. Furthermore, there's not one shred of evidence linking my client to the disclosure to the Pensacola News Journal or his supposed friend. Again, more conclusory statements coming from the state. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Any questions?
Sure, Mr. Dean will probably have some questions for you. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you, and thank you guys for making the trip up here. I'm going to try to keep it inside the boundaries of why we're here. I know you went all over the place for a lot of other stuff, but I don't want to put too much out because people watching the Florida channel may be participating in that lawsuit. That's for you and your client. You said something at the end about benefit, or you said he benefit of gaining possession of. So I'm curious of if he gained possession of his information, and you said it wasn't a benefit being a public officer, but for the public trust and making him a commissioner, he wouldn't have had been anywhere near this information because it happened, I think, in the confines of the commission offices, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I'm reading. So
Sure.
what do you mean by
the
he
state's
did?
position is that, hey, he should have turned the documents, the cell phone data back over to the county. Well, there's 2 problems with that. One is obviously First Amendment issue. Okay, there's issues and things contained in that data that are of significant public importance. Number 2, he didn't get it because of his official position of working there at the attorney's, at the county's office. And furthermore, what the state's saying is, hey, you discovered some potential sunshine violations, so here, go give it back to the suspect. I mean, it doesn't work like
All
that.
right, Madam Chair, if you let me finish, I was trying to get to that point. How many commissioners are there within commission officers or commissioners on this commission?
5.
5. And did any other commissioner have thumb drives on their desks or have access to this stuff other than your client?
I have no idea.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Green?
Yes. Mr. Green, thank you as well for your presentation. I was snagged on your comment that this information was available to the public, but there's some information that would not have been available to the public given that it was privileged to private confidential information. So it's true that a portion of it might have been available, but not all of it, and all of it is what was disclosed. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Green? Thank you. Ms. Miller?
Thank you. I'll be brief. First of all, it is not my position that he should have turned the information over to the county. It's my position that he should not have disclosed the information. And as far as the statute being for procurement, I am unaware that any case law says that, or the statute doesn't reference that specifically, so I disagree with that statement. And how was this information obtained? Someone left a thumb drive on his desk at work in his county office. But for his position, he would not have acquired this information. I ask that you find probable cause. Thank you.
Any questions or discussion from the members? Is there a motion on whether or not to adopt the advocate's recommendation of a finding of probable cause?
I move the adoption of the advocate's recommendation.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Mr. Owens, Mr. Green, thank you for being here. Thank you for your argument. All right, moving on to item number 8 of the agenda, consideration of a couple